Okay, just really quick before I start this video, I want to make it clear that I tried really hard to make a knit project based off of the cover of Rise to the Sun. So I started making a bag and it's just not going well. It's supposed to be like a tote bag. I bought yarn in the colors of the cover. You can kind of see here. I really do intend on finishing it, but it's just not going well. It just looks like a banana right now. It's supposed to be a tote bag. This is not a tote bag. This is just a weird, I don't know what, but it's not going well, but maybe it will. Perhaps an update at some point if I figure out how to make it. Hello, my name is Elise, and today I'm here with a very exciting review for Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. I know this is kind of a big title to put on one author in one book, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. This was my most anticipated release for 2021 out of like literally all the 2021 releases. Like this was the one I was looking forward to. I think I first heard about this book in October 2020, and on the author's Twitter, I basically saw that it was about sapphic girls of color at a music festival, and perhaps there'd be some pop punk involved. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, this is not a want, this is a need. I need it immediately. This has been a need not just since I saw the announcement on Twitter in October. It's been a need since like forever, for years. I've been looking for this story forever before I even saw that it was gonna exist. So yeah, I was so excited when I finally got a copy. Thank you so much to the publishers for sending this to me because I've been really wanting to read it. So just for some very quick background on me, I know you're not here for me, you're here for the book, but I just wanted to acknowledge really quickly why this was so important to me. So I've really been into music since like forever. It's just been something that's meant a lot to me. I always go to concerts and festivals with my dad. It's been a thing, okay? It's something I look forward to, something that I bond with my family over. It's just been something very important to me. So I love books that deal with music, and this was obviously something that had to deal with music, and it took place during a festival, and there's a festival I go to every year with my dad. I think I've been going since I was 15 years old, but I decided for this video to wear the first shirt. Here, look, you can kind of see it. The first shirt I got at the very first festival I went to, which is called Riot Fest, and yeah, just, you know, for nostalgia, you know, just thought I'd put that out there. I know you get a really weird view of it right now, like you're just getting some weird eyes staring at you. It's a very ugly shirt, but you know, maybe if I just was like this, it would look better. But yeah, basically I wanted to read it because I love music, and also I love books that deal with kind of messy, confused girls finding their place in the world, which is also this book. And then the other thing I was really looking forward to is that both main characters are girls of color. And as someone who's gone to many music festivals, okay, it's just one music festival I go to, but I've gone to it every single year. But especially with the punk, pop punk, rock, I guess too, genre, I feel like a lot of times those have become so white. Like their roots are not in white people. That came out weird. But yeah, many times when I go to concerts or festivals, I just don't see many people of color, and like the bands that are often put on stage are not bands that have people of color in it. So I feel like that's just representation that I've really been looking for. I am Asian. I don't see many Asian people at festivals or concerts. It's usually just me and my dad. You know, I'm sure there's some people out there, but it's not a lot. So that's something I've really been looking for in books. Okay, enough about me. I know that's not important. I'll go really quickly over a brief summary of the book. So basically it's about two different girls, Tony and Olivia. They both have a point of view in the book, so they have separate chapters, and they meet at this music festival. So they both have their own troubles, their own difficulties, their own things that they're working out in their heads and lives and everything like that. But the reason that they come together and meet is because there's this competition at the music festival, and you have to find these golden apples, and at the end you'll get a prize. If I remember correctly, because I read this a few weeks ago, it's a car. But yeah, they both want to win this festival competition. So they're going to team up together, even though they were just previously complete strangers, and try to win this competition. And as the book goes on, there are more struggles and troubles that emerge, and things get really difficult. There are some conflicts between the characters, of course, as always. And overall, it's about music and love and friendship and family, and yeah, and hardships and all of that, all the stuff I really love in young adult contemporaries. So let's go over our characters. Our first one is Olivia, who is kind of notorious for falling in love and then getting dumped. So her struggle here is just the idea of love and relationships and finding someone that you connect to. And then also there's the whole emerging issue of college, which is a whole new set of issues of figuring things out. Then we have Tony, who is struggling with the loss of her father, who also really loved music. And the music festival she's at is actually the music festival that her dad went to and totally changed his life and career. So she's struggling with some feelings of abandonment and loss, and there's a lot of struggles going on there with how she's processing relationships in kind of a different sense than Olivia. So regarding the characters, I am not someone who likes multiple point of views, but I did like both of these characters. They're both very messy and confused and figuring things out, and that's just something I really love in books. It's a very coming of age feel, and it just feels very teenagery, you know, where you're just figuring stuff out and there's so many confusing things going on and you just have so many problems, and sometimes it just feels like the entire world is just coming down on you. So I just love characters like that. And when the two characters meet, I really liked how off the bat things just kind of were flowing. I did see some reviews say that they didn't like the insta-love aspect of it, but honestly, I didn't mind it that much at all. I don't always like insta-love. I like this balance where the book is kind of fast-paced and moving along, but it's not exactly insta-love. I would say this is more kind of insta-love-ish, maybe a little bit more of a build-up, but I didn't think it was a bad part of the book. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it flowed pretty naturally, and based off of the characters' personalities, I thought it made sense, so I didn't think that was an issue here. I overall really liked the relationship that was going on. Both of these characters felt really complex, and you could tell that they were both struggling with trying to find their voice, you know, feeling like they aren't heard, but that they have lots of things to say. And once again, that's something I really appreciate in books. I love characters that are lonely and lost and misunderstood, and we definitely got that in this book. We also see some negative sides to these characters. You can tell that they're hurting very much, and because of all that hurt, one character more than the other, but you can see that they don't always know how to deal with that pain and sometimes take it out on others, and it's not a very likable aspect, but I thought it was very relatable. And once again, I'm going to keep saying this, it's something I really enjoy seeing in books because I just feel like it's so realistic. I love, love, love books that explore flaws in characters, and we see that here very clearly. Another thing I wanted to go over is the overall atmosphere of the book. As I said, it takes place in a music festival, and I know I'm biased because I already love music festivals, but I just wanted to address that I thought the atmosphere and the vibe, the scenery of this book was just so wonderful. It was very fun, and if you read a lot of young adult contemporaries like I do, this isn't a very typical scene for a book. Scenery, not just one scene, it was the whole book pretty much, and I just thought it was really fun. A lot of books we see that are young adult contemporaries take place in high school or in the summer, but there's a lot of school being referenced, and I just liked this rather unique atmosphere. I know festivals in general aren't very unique, like it's a normal thing that a lot of teenagers go to, but it was fun seeing the entire book taking place in a festival. So if you're looking for a book with fun, atmospheric vibes, okay, maybe that's not the best way to describe it, just like a fun location, here we go. That's the place you want to be at. I will say right now that there are some rather heavy scenes in this book, so I am saying that the atmosphere is fun because it's at a music festival, but do keep in mind that there are a lot of heavy themes in this book. I have a review linked down below with all the trigger warnings, but I will just say right now there's feelings of abandonment, there's some gun violence, and yeah, you're gonna have to check the review down below for all of the trigger warnings. So the next thing I'm gonna go over is the writing style. So if you're looking for a book that is super easy to read, here you go. It is easy to fly through. I read it basically in a day or so, and just something about the sentence structure was just super easy to consume. You can just fly through the sentences, and it was, yeah, very simple and quick. For the most part, I did enjoy that. There were some instances where I wish it was a little slower. All the paragraphs are very, very short. Seriously, it's just like a couple sentences. And again, for the most part, I didn't mind that because I like fast-paced books, but there are just some scenes where I felt like I wanted more detail, more depth. So that was just a minor complaint there, but overall, it's just a really quick book. It's set up in a very quick manner. So if you like quick books, this is a good one for you. So the last thing I'm going to bring up is the 2 point of views. I am not someone who likes multiple point of views. I think that's more common in fantasy, and I don't really read fantasy because I find it confusing. I don't like feeling confused, so I don't read fantasy often. In contemporary fiction, it's usually dual point of views if there's going to be more than one point of view, and typically I end up not liking that. And in this book, it really wasn't my favorite either. I did like the characters and I did like the plot of the story, but in some instances, I really wished I could see more of the characters. I feel like multiple point of views sometimes weakens the overall structure of a book and weakens your connection with the main characters, and I did feel that in this book. I wanted more of Tony, more of Olivia, but I feel like I couldn't get more when both of their point of views were side by side. I also felt like the chapters were very short, and I like fast-paced books, so I usually like short chapters, but with the multiple point of views, it just felt so quick. It was like one thing happened and then immediately we're switching to the next character to see their point of view. But in that moment, I still wanted more from that one character. So I think that would be my major complaint here. The multiple point of views just wasn't my thing. That might just be a personal preference, but yeah, I just felt like I couldn't connect as well to the characters as I wanted to because their chapters were so brief and I just wanted so much more from one point of view. Either point of view would be fine, but I just wanted one focus because I feel like that would be a lot clearer and I wouldn't keep keep mixing up the two characters. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts for Rise to the Sun. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I do feel like it was the multiple point of views which made things so quick and almost a teeny bit disconnected that prevented me from giving it 5 stars. But overall, I would still totally recommend this. It was fun, but it was also really emotional and heavy, and you got a lot of messiness and confusion, which I just love in YA contemporaries. And yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. It's a quick read, but a good one. And then also, I found my laptop. I'm just going to really quickly read off the trigger warnings in case you didn't want to click on my review. So there are trigger warnings based on what I caught, because again, I read it in an advanced copy. Panic attacks, death of a parent, guns and shooting, feelings of abandonment, and revenge porn, which was non-consensual image sharing. So yeah, just keep those in mind if you are interested in reading this book. And yeah, that is it for me. If you enjoyed this spoiler-free review, I have another spoiler-free video for Rise to the Sun. It is a reading vlog, and I actually had a lot of fun making it, so hopefully it'll be fun to watch too. Perhaps you should check it out. But yeah, thanks again to the publisher for sending me a copy. I really had a fun time reading this, and I hope you all will check it out too. There will be links down below to order the book because you should, because it was a lovely book. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next video. Goodbye. Hello, my name is Elise, and today I'm here with a really exciting review for, oh, that's backwards.